Anybody here who would like to summarize the key points and then maybe add what you liked from those key points? Should I choose? Or you like, please volunteer. I mean, you need not summarize everything. You can summarize a few points, and others can add into chip into the rest.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
I don't know how to summarize full thing, but the point when I switched on, when I logged in, that time I heard Maharaj saying, like the effort that you put, that is enough for Krishna to be pleased. Not about the result, whether you gone through it or not, you got success or not. It's with Krishna is not not doing anything with that result. He will see the effort that you have kept. That gave me so much hope, Prabhu. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much for telling that. Anybody else, please? Sharbari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just to add to what Shambhavi Mataji said, it was said that serving is our department, but the result is Krishna's department. So that, just to add. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Chandan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Prabhu, for me, sound was very less, Prabhu. I was not able to hear clearly. Somehow, I was listening and missing also something. I don't know. I was thinking to ask you to increase volume, but I couldn't hear in between.
Was it the same problem for others too?
Yes, it was comparatively on the lower side. So I'm using a microphone, and that is how it is better, Prabhu. But it was comparatively lower compared to other days.
Yeah, it is not
Yeah,
like
I could not.
like normally you can do some hear from some distance, that it was not like that.
Oh, sorry about it. So, Shekhar Prabhu, were you able to hear?
Yes, I could hear it. I don't know
Okay.
why, but I could hear it properly. It was clear. And regarding some, they've already pointed out, devotees already pointed out some very nice points. Just that when there's something that was said there, Maharaj said that we should strive according to capacity. So, and we have heard often that it's not just that we do something that is convenient for us, but we do a seva or a sadhana in accordance with capacity. And that's probably not just doing something when it's convenient for us, but doing something even when it's inconvenient for us, because that's what sacrifice means. And doing according to a capacity and probably even pushing beyond a capacity is, we've heard this analogy of going to the gym and exercising. If you want to build more muscles, you got to strive to lift and keep increasing it. So that capacity also, we have heard this in the previous lectures, just a couple of lectures back. So I think capacity should also be, according to what I've heard, that the capacity should also be increasing, and we should be doing according to capacity. And then Maharaj said that's what's pleasing to Krishna. And another very interesting point that Maharaj made was that, and I just want to point out the way in which Maharaj said that he wants to relieve me of the doership mentality. There are two things that I found very interesting and which says so much about Maharaj. He uses the word me quite often, and as you pointed out, Prabhu, that we tend to, or rather, I may tend to, you rather say, use the word you, which I'm now more conscious of, and also of the word I think, which I must try to avoid. But he used that word explicitly. He said he wants to relieve me of the doership mentality. It shows so much of humility in Maharaj. And that overall point also is very interesting, that when we do something, as pointed out by the devotees earlier, that the results are Krishna's department, and sometimes we may not get the result. And that's actually Krishna, as Maharaj compared, not in an exact manner, but just stating how the earthly father, the the earthly father tries to sometimes restrain a child from doing something which might not be um, good for the child, and Krishna knows best what's good for us. And sometimes when the results are not in accordance with what we would probably expect, it's a humbling experience, which is actually good for us. So I found this very nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much for sharing it. Uh, I maybe I'll just summarize a few points, and then if anybody else has, they can add much more to it. As usual, um, this lecture is one of those where I feel Maharaj gives a glimpse into his heart, into how he sees the world around him, and that in turn motivates us. But like a pure devotee seeing the world around him, maybe we can too look at the world around us. Well, like I'll just repeat a few statements which from what I noted down. One of the first one, Maharaj said, Krishna will do whatever he wants with our service. And this actually helps us to do two things. One, to know that Krishna, you're the Lord, or um, I'm okay for you to be a person to desire to do whatever you want. Service is my department, results is his department. That is at one level. But when Maharaj was saying that Krishna will do whatever with our service, it's not about results being accepted or rejected alone. It is about how that service transforms the individual who is performing the service and also the world around him and how he wants to use that service. Like, say, for example, the person who invented the microphone never knew that it's going to be useful to propagate Krishna Katha throughout the world. But Krishna used him in whatever way, the person who invented the microphone or the speaker or the internet, all of those things. So whoever is doing it, they do get a credit for this aspect that they are helping in Krishna's overall mission, that he wants all everybody to be connected to him in that sense. That was number one. Number two, Maharaj said that we are impelled because we are pushed. But if we become Krishna conscious, we are not pushed. And I liked it because in the very beginning stages of Krishna consciousness, most of us, me included, we are still trying to figure out in a day, on a daily schedule, what to do. Uh, it's not like we have a habit. It's more like I have this immediate urgent thing coming up, and that pushes us because there's a consequence of not doing certain things. There's a consequence of not cooking food for our children because they have to go to school hungry. There's a consequence of not doing something what the office wants. More so, it is what the world outside of us pushes us. And we get so used to the push from the outside world that self initiative comes down. And so Maharaj brought it out saying, we are impelled because we're pushed. But when we are Krishna conscious, it is the desire to please Krishna that pushes us. And that is something that we need to learn, being self driven to an extent by our desire to please Krishna rather than survival. That's one thing. So that was the second point. A third point, which many of you also said, the mentality that I am going to get it done. and put my mind to it, but that's not the way it works. The opposite side of it is that here is an opportunity to please Krishna. Let me see how I can connect to Krishna by doing as much as possible. And when we don't do it this way, we can still get success. And the way Maharaj said it, I liked it very much. A lifetime filled with apparent success. So if we put our mind to some activity, if we are focused, we do get success. But what Maharaj said is this is apparent success. It's not like it's a failure. It is a success. But we have not learned to connect it to the source of the truth, to the person who actually wants a reciprocation with us. In other words, um, a parent may send a child to school, and the purpose of the parent to send the child to school is to refine the thought process of the child, and child goes to should go to the school and is able to categorize things, analyze things, and express itself. So one way which a child can do is the child can get higher and higher degrees and just have certificates and show to the parent. And of course, many parents do like that. But the other kind of parents, what they like is when the child goes to the school and learns how to express himself or herself and comes back to the parent and says, you gave me this, I did this with it. Observe you doing this. I like this part of you. And I'm seeing that behind your effort so much, you have a love for me here. The parent becomes happy. The parent becomes happy with the exchange. So that's the difference between an apparent success of a degree and the true success that behind me as a child, getting to know so much, getting to do so much or learn so much, there is the intention of my parent, and I want to understand more. My dear father, my dear mother, please tell me what else you would like me to do. I'm learning this, but how can I help you more? Or how can I be of assistance to you? That is number fourth one. And the fifth thing was when the last question that came up about personalism and impersonalism. Very poignantly, Maharaj said, it is through the medium of service that we get to know the person. And the personal feature is realized by serving. All of your devotees, you know that very well. So I'm not going to elaborate that further. But when he went to the impersonal aspect, it's a very radical way of saying it. What Maharaj said, but something I liked is what is the essential um, feeling or mindset of an impersonalist? Maharaj, this is the first time I heard something like this. I've heard it earlier, but I forgot. But so I can effectively, it's the first time. The impersonalist says, I don't want to be small. That's how Maharaj said it. I don't want to be small. I want to be big. And I'm comfortable that God exists, and so do I. And that's enough for me. I don't need to know more about service, about the feelings, and other aspects. How often I feel that we also are something like that. I don't want to be some also ran fellow and person who also existed. I want to be big. And I'm comfortable that I exist. I want to exist. I'm not so much worried about variety in the life. So, in other words, there is that degree of impersonalism in our lives too. So, that's one other point that I liked here. And then Maharaj said, in a when a person is in the contemplative mode, or like this pantheism is a contemplative step, one begins to appreciate something beyond the hubbub. And he sees what is the purpose. You build a kingdom and then it crumbles, etc. Many of us are so busy in our life, we fail to look beyond the hubbub. Uh, we are building our castles and build kingdoms, and it's just a matter of time before it crumbles. So we all need to take time to look at, to introspect and see where in the aspect of personal devotional service we have to move forward. What is it that we have already received, and what is more that we want to receive, and appreciate how Krishna has come in our own lives, how acharyas have come in our own lives. Uh, being thankful is one, but taking more steps. for serving. And it is only when Maharaj finally almost concluded, it is only when connected with devotion that the Paramatma shows himself. I'm just tying it to a statement which Nityananda Pran Prabhu said a couple of days ago. He quoted from Chaitanya Charitamrita last Friday that we can continue to chant and hear all our lifetimes, for several lifetimes, but we may not be connected. Why? Because, as Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport to that verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we may be doing what is called, we may not be, we are maybe offensive to the whole chanting of the holy name. And what does that offense mean? That offense means I am not paying my attention to Krishna, I'm not paying attention to Krishna's devotees, I'm not paying attention to Krishna's holy name. So, how can you pay attention to Krishna or Krishna's name or Krishna's devotees? It is that mood of I want you that has to happen. And it doesn't come just like that. It needs us, I mean, we need to hear more, we need to read, and we need to serve together to actually appreciate that. It doesn't come just like that. So Maharaj is laying the foundation for all of this in this lecture in second canto. Anybody else would like to add anything more? Okay, I think I
No, Prabhu,
much more.
just
Yes, Madhi Sundari Maharaj, please.
very nice discussion and summarized very nicely by everyone. I have one question, like even I'm hearing from so long, like we need to be instrument, like we are not the doer, like that. These are hearing, but while doing any activity or not service mode or anything, but want to do, but automatically that kartaham, like I am the doer, like very like not every time it will come and it will stay and lose the mood of service or anything. So how we can be always in that instrument mode, like we are not the doer, we are just
It usually goes in steps, Maharaj. The Kartaha mentality. First thing is while doing devotional service in the form of direct devotional service, that is during chanting, during arti, during worshipping of deities, that we bring our mind to saying Krishna. It is actually the devote. My spiritual master wants me to connect to you. And therefore I am doing this arati in front of the deities. Please, I'm assisting my spiritual master for this. He is doing it. I'm just the instrument. That is during the process of archana. Likewise, during the process of bhajana, when we chant or when we read, the thing here is I received this mantra from my spiritual master. He wants me to receive the fullness. Oh, my dear spiritual master, you please give it to me. I'm just moving my lips, but I want my intention to be tuned with you. You please help me. When this step happens, along with it comes the next step. When we serve great devotees, uh, we we have to realign our mind in our consciousness. Oh, my dear devotee, the power to do is given by you. I want to please you. Please use me. When we do these two things, then after that, the rest of the other activities slowly come up. But these two are foundational. That is the core devotional activities and Acharya Sevana. It is in these two that we learn to be an instrument, and that is extended to other activities.
thank you for very good.
Okay, we'll pause here. Thank you very much.